Hello, my name is Lindsay Vargas, and for my challenge presentation, I'd like to get specific and delve into some marketing difficulties within the world of publishing. Many people don't realize that publishing houses need to be familiar with certain marketing techniques, especially if the company is small. I never thought I'd be able to translate my love of marketing into my love of books, but I have seen the light. Throughout this presentation, I'll identify a challenge within my field, give some background on both publishing and marketing, and then present my sort of solution. The challenge in this industry is that smaller publishing houses, which make up about 70% of all publishers, lack the resources currently afforded to the big five publishers to market their products to a wider general audience. Before getting too into the weeds, I'd like to give a little background about the relationship between publishing and marketing, or as I like to call it, an unrequited love story, for a while. Ever since the printer was invented in the 1400s, the demand for books has always existed. The idea of modern publishing started around the 19th century. Technological advances made printing books quick and cheap. At this time, the marketing for books centered around word of mouth, maybe a quick ad in the newspaper, but mostly, it just didn't exist. As printing became cheaper and more publishers popped up, jobs flourished. Still, marketing was scarce. Sales representatives at the publishers would go and speak directly with booksellers or libraries. Everything was one-on-one. This changed in the early 20th century when publishers in New York decided to start taking out flashy ads in the newspapers and magazines, or using posters around the city to get the word out about a new book that was just released. This was the beginning of book marketing. Since then, as new marketing techniques arose, publishers leaped at the chance to try them. Even now, as many argue that technology is making the physical book obsolete in comparison to an ebook, publishers are fighting back by marketing in every channel for the books under their charge. They partner with booksellers and libraries to reel the public in and remind them how good it feels to hold a physical book rather than an e-reader. Let's get a quick look at the setup of the publishing world today, and what I mean when I say small publishing house. There are 5 major publishing houses in the industry today: Penguin Random House, Hachette, HarperCollins, Macmillan, and Simon & Schuster. There used to be 6, but Penguin Books and Random House merged in 2013. In comparison to these 5 companies, every other publisher is considered small. There are some publishers that others will argue are big names, but those are all connected to one of these 5 companies. For example, Little Brown, which is famous for publishing all of James Patterson's books, are owned by Hachette. So a quote-unquote small publisher includes all publishing houses not connected with the big 5 in any way, which could contain up to 50 employees, all the way down to individual publishers running their business out of their own homes. Now that we've gotten the lay of the land of the publishing world, let's bring in the marketing. Some current trends of book marketing include author appearances, readings, and signings, utilizing social media, and creating a web presence for the book on the publisher's website. This all sounds great and on track. But how do the smaller publishers keep up with all of these channels and content with their scarce resources, whether it be money, time, or knowledge? What is the solution? My time at University College has taught me that there needs to be a combination of traditional and modern marketing tactics used. For this presentation, I am going to focus on the modern web-based marketing techniques, as this is the area many publishers struggle with because there are only so many times you can tweet, "This book is awesome, go read it." Let's take a look at 3 key marketing concepts I think all publishers should know: brand management, web analytics, and reputation management. First, brand management. Publishers need to realize that the book, while so important, is not the brand to be focused on. The author is. The book that is about to be released can only be released once and only has one story. The author is who comes up with new and exciting ideas. The author is who the audience should connect with because the story and characters come from the author. The most important thing to remember is that the author can respond to their audience. Characters can't. So it's important to make sure that the publisher and the author are managing the brand correctly. Create a brand management plan, even if it's not super detailed. Having something to fall back on as a reference is always a good idea. The plan should include objectives, a general marketing program overview, including pricing strategy, and a brand tracking system. It's also important to keep the author involved in this plan, especially if they're the ones helping to implement it. This plan will also be a reference for particulars such as tone and dialect for the author to use. This seems excessive to do for every author a publisher has, but once there's a template in place, it's pretty easy to tweak it to fit every author's individuality. The brand tracking system is essential to any brand management plan. This tracking system will allow a publisher to see everywhere the brand is mentioned, as well as the sentiment associated with the brand. Next, web analytics. Tracking web analytics should be part of the brand management plan. The easiest channels to track analytics are websites and social media. Websites should be where all the information is. Whether the author has their own site or a section on the publisher's site is optional. I would definitely recommend the author have their own site if they have a loyal fan base in place already. Google Analytics can track every click on every page of a website, and it's free. This is perfect if one of the resources a small publishing house is lacking in is money. If the author needs to build a reputation, social media is a great way to build a rapport with the audience. Using a management tool such as Hootsuite, which is also free, to schedule content ahead of time. This helps publishers lacking in time. All content is in one place and everything is scheduled, so once it's up and running, there's no need to look back. It doesn't need to be every day either, it just needs to be authentic. The author should interact with their audience, which again doesn't need to be on a daily basis. In fact, these can even be scheduled Q&As such as a Facebook live chat. Make it an event. This makes the author seem more accessible to the public, thus building that relationship and their reputation. If you haven't guessed it yet, reputation is next. Reputation is another key component. A brand management plan will help to build a reputation, which can make or break you. If the author builds a reputation for being accessible to their fan base, the public will see a mutual loyalty, which is something they bond with and in turn creates brand loyalty. Brand loyalty is essential to any marketing campaign. This is the connections consumers feel to a brand. Without it, they'd be on to the next big thing that came along without thinking twice. It's essential to always strive for brand loyalty. However, it is possible to lose brand loyalty pretty quickly. For example, if an author seems as though they did not produce their best work or put in that much effort, the audience will see someone just looking for a paycheck, and that will become the author's reputation, even if they were just trying to seem cool or suave. I would recommend creating an online reputation management system. This looks at who the stakeholders are, what online assets the brand currently has, the goals of the brand, and the strategy to implement. A brand audit should also be included in this system and can be conducted on a regular basis to make sure the brand is on track and managing their reputation accordingly. A brand audit really evaluates if the brand's reputation is where it should be. If it's not, a reputation crisis management strategy can be kicked into gear. It's important for publishers to monitor their reputation as well as the authors. Even if an author has a great reputation, if the publisher is known for running late or missing deadlines or being rude to their authors, and fans hear about it, they will not want to give in to this publisher. They will want to side with the author and make sure that their loyalty is known to the author. So it's also important to make sure that a publisher's reputation is on point as well. Any of these strategies can be implemented into a publisher's own reputation management system as well. Thank you for watching my presentation. Here are some of the amazing resources I used for this presentation and throughout my time at University College.